Hey there, welcome to my new video channel. I'm calling it Something Like Media. It's not really a media channel, in that it's not dedicated to any one topic in particular. This is going to be my first video, pretty light. I'm just doing a basic movie review, but I'm going to be doing all kinds of stuff, whether it's politics, random news stories, celebrities, and my disdain for 99.9% of them, life, generalizations, things like that. Basically anything that I want to talk about, I guess kind of a therapy for me and hopefully a enjoyment and entertainment value out of it. But yeah, I still have some things in the works and some people working on some graphic design for me and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. But
Hey, man, get to the damn fucking part.
Last night I saw F9, and so I felt like I wanted to talk about it while it was still fresh in my mind. Where to start? I mean, basically it's about Vin Diesel and crew trying to obtain this goofy-looking, futuristic black disco ball honeycomb thing device that can hack into computer systems and destroy the world and yada, yada, yada. I don't know, who cares? But that's basically just like the secondary plot device to set the stage for the real plot, which is just countless action sequences. That's basically all it is. And I think you know that going into a movie like this. So it's not very complicated in that respect. It's a little convoluted. Just in general, there's a bunch of different characters, and it's definitely not a movie you would want to go into had you not seen any of the other ones, because it kind of just rolls into, things that have gone on in past movies, and that would definitely confuse people who haven't seen those. Even though, I mean, just the basic caveman, Neanderthal, plot understanding to all these movies is just, it's explosions and car chase sequences. Other than that, though, I was pleasantly surprised that there wasn't a lot of social justice warrior leftist nonsense in the movie. There were a couple of lines that were said that made me roll my eyes, which I guess is saying something given the, entire franchise's already absurd premise. While we're on the subject of absurdity, there's a scene where the barely 100-pound female leads somehow effortlessly beat up men that are 3 times their size in hand-to-hand combat, of course.
Right.
And I guess the director and the writers got their required, would never happen in real life girl power scene in there in case you were worried that they weren't going to cover that. So yeah, they definitely got the barely a buck chicks beating up guys that, and kicking them through walls and things like that, totally realistic stuff that you see all the time in real life that you can totally relate to, Who Run the World girls and stuff. Let's see, what else? Vin Diesel, in every scene, either looked like he hasn't slept in 5 days, or that he just woke up and decided that the first thing he was going to do was stare into the sun directly. But I guess you can't blame him. He's 75 years old, and he's been doing these movies for 20 years, so I would imagine I'd be pretty tired too. The actors picked to play Vin Diesel and John Cena when they were younger. So there's a bunch of flashback scenes where Vin Diesel and John Cena's character, who, you're supposed to believe that they're possibly brothers because, they have so many similar features and whatnot. But I guess, if you're suspending disbelief with everything else in this movie, you might as well believe that too. But yeah, the actors that were portraying Vin Diesel and John Cena in their younger years were so distractingly and poorly cast that it was pretty laughable. Not that the actors that they chose to portray them as younger versions were bad actors. They weren't. But it was still pretty laughable in that respect, and it was hard to follow those scenes just because of how distractingly bad it was. I think the casting director should definitely have been fired and tossed into a pit of live snakes for even humoring the idea of choosing the actors that they did. I guess that's a trivial critique, but something worth noting. I'm sure there's no way you won't notice it. Let's see what else. There's a fun cameo by one of the worst people in existence. I won't spoil it for you, but I will say that their name rhymes with Tardy Ree. Fortunately, they're only on screen for about 30 seconds. So, that's the silver lining there. I read one critic's review said the action sequences were too unrealistic, as if that's going to sway anyone's decision to see this who was on the fence. Like there's a ton of people that were on the fence about seeing this movie. As if there was anyone, who was scratching their head trying to decide, do I want to see this movie or not? I better go see what the commentary is on these action sequences. Because when I go see action movies like this, I want to make sure that they're, at least somewhat realistic. So good job by that movie critic. What else? As with all of the Fast and the Furious films, the action sequences would make the most ridiculous anime cartoons blush. But if you weren't already expecting that going into this literal, 8th or 9th sequel, then I question if you even have the base level intelligence to sit through this movie. Because it has a runtime of 2.5 hours. So it's definitely not for grandpas. And it's definitely not for people with IQs that are 75 or lower, I guess. I think if you got an IQ of 80, you can muscle through this movie and follow its basic concepts. But it's got to be at least 80, which I know again isn't setting the bar very high, but worthy of note. In conclusion, it was slightly better than I expected going in, which isn't saying much, given that I thought it was probably going to be a roasting dumpster fire. But I've always been a fan of Vin Diesel, so, I usually gravitate towards his films, even though I know going in that they're going to be, what they are, just generic action movies for the most part. I personally I don't think he's that bad of an actor. I really don't. I think he's actually a decent actor for what he does. There's actors that are a whole lot worse who are intolerable. Overall, I'd give it a shaky 6 out of 10. So, if you do go see it, just turn your brain off, focus on all the flashing lights like a cat with a laser pointer. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I know this video wasn't the most eventful, exciting video, but, I wanted to get some kind of content prepared and out there while it was still topically relevant. Movie theaters are just opening back up again, starting to play films more consistently. They're not releasing one or two movies a month. They're starting to release actual blockbuster and well-known films on a weekly basis again. So that's good. But yeah, again, 6 out of 10. Let me know what you thought of the movie. Comment. Tell me where I'm right. Tell me where I'm wrong. Am I right about everything? Yes. Am I wrong about everything? No. I don't think so.
No.
But either way, I'd love to know what you thought. If you've seen the movie, or even if you haven't, what you thought about it. And if you could also subscribe, I promise that the content will only get better over time. And yeah, I just wanted to say that. And again, thanks for sitting through this video if you did. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.